Welcome to Time Frame Thursday with a quote from John McNally, who said, "At some point, you have to give yourself deadlines and you have to stick to them." I couldn't agree more. Hi there, my name is Christopher Diarmani, and I empower nonfiction authors, perhaps nonfiction authors just like you, so you can turn your dream of writing a book into your published reality. And one of the great tools for doing this is the deadline. And it's the thing that a lot of authors struggle with, a lot of authors actually fear, and yet it's the thing that truly gives you so much power over your writing and over your writing life. So if you haven't figured it out yet, I'm a massive fan of deadlines for a whole bunch of reasons, and some of those we're going to go through right here. So I firmly believe, based on my own experience in my own life and watching the successes that the authors that I work with have based on this, deadlines help you stay accountable, both to yourself and to your ultimate deadline of your book. Deadlines also ensure you're making forward progress every single day. If you schedule a writing appointment, set a deadline for, I'm going to write 500 words today, I'm going to write 1,000 words, or whatever the number is for you. And then you keep that appointment and you achieve that little goal, that small goal. That's just one of those small pieces of the puzzle that you stack up for much greater and greater wins. Without self-imposed deadlines, because that's what all of these things are. No one's holding a gun to our head and saying, "You must write or I will shoot you." No, we have to set these deadlines and then live in the integrity of keeping them, holding them, making them sacred, for lack of a better word, right? Because without those self-imposed deadlines, we lack direction, we lack focus, we lack motivation. We lack the desire to succeed. We lack the desire to actually make that journey down to the road and cross the finish line of Publication Highway. And yet that's the journey that we say is so important to us on multiple levels. And a deadline, multiple deadlines, will help you get there so much easier. So take this seriously. If you're finding it challenging to get your book started or get your book written, then embrace deadlines and hold yourself accountable for keeping them. It's such a critical part of the success, as I said. One great thing to do, schedule all these deadlines on your calendar, whether that's Outlook, whether that's some other digital planner, whether that's old school, pen and paper. Whatever the system is that works for you to schedule appointments, make sure you put all of these things on that, whether that's the digital or the not. Schedule it, every single one of your deadlines throughout the entire process. Break your book down into as small and manageable little tiny pieces as you can. So set a chapter for, your first, set a deadline for your first chapter. Set a deadline for creating the outline for that first chapter. It's like set deadlines for everything and then work to meet them. Set reminders. Once you've done that, set reminders as well, so that whatever that scheduled appointment is, 15 minutes before depending on the deadline, set a reminder that tomorrow I need to be completed chapter 1. In 4 days I need to be completed chapter 2. Like, break it down that specifically, and then schedule all of these things, and then schedule reminders for them, so that you're constantly reminded of the need to make forward progress so you can meet all of those deadlines. Also make them uncomfortably close in time. This is one of my favorite tools. Make the deadline uncomfortably close in time, because it needs to force you out of your comfort zone. When we live in our comfort zone, basically not a lot happens, because there's no pressing urgency. And that's the beauty of a deadline for something that's really important, like writing your book, publishing your book. It's a really important thing. It's a really huge thing for so many people. And it can be for you too. But those deadlines, every single one of them, there needs to be urgency. There needs to be something that forces you to step out of that comfort zone, that place where all of our dreams go to die, and do the thing that's put in front of you to do, right? Yes, be realistic with those deadlines. Like, don't say you're going to write 60,000 words tomorrow, because, I don't know anyone that can accomplish that. There might be someone out there, I don't know, but I know I'm not getting there in one day. So make them realistic, but err on the side that creates the most urgency. So if your goal is to write, 20,000 words in a month, then cut it down to 25 days. Force yourself to work harder, to climb that mountain faster. Err on that side that, as I said, forces you out of your comfort zone and into that zone of brilliance, that zone of genius, that zone where all the really amazing things happen in our life. Every deadline, as I said, should be achievable, and yet it must be challenging enough to force you into action. Can't speak strongly enough about that need. So begin with your complete detailed roadmap for success. Now, this is the plan that should contain simple things like your why. I shouldn't say simple things because this can be really challenging. Discovering the why deep down inside you, both for your book and for the people who you serve, who your book will serve. Why is serving this particular group of individuals so important for you? Why is writing this book so you can serve these people at a greater level so important for you? These are really important things to figure out, and this will take a minute or two. So don't be shocked if the first thought that comes to your mind doesn't really ring true. It's going to take a little digging. Your writing schedule. It should contain your writing schedule as well. The days you're going to write, how much you're going to write on those days, and for a little extra impetus, what is the penalty you're going to impose upon yourself if you don't meet that deadline? Will you give $5 to a charity who opposes everything you believe in? I mean, that's a really great motivator, because I don't want to support the people who are actively working against my own interests, what I perceive as my own interests. So if I set a deadline with a financial penalty on it, so that if I don't meet this deadline, I have to give this organization, I don't know, $100. Well, I think that I'm going to be pretty darn inspired to get whatever done, get the work done, so I'm not having to fork over $100 of my hard-earned money to some people who stand for everything that I oppose. Right? That's just one avenue. There's lots of other ways to do that. But of course, your roadmap, your complete detailed roadmap for author success should contain your deadlines, the really big ones, the major deadlines. You know, like, so your first draft deadline, your final draft deadline, your publication date. Those are all really, really big deadlines. But for each step of those, break it down further. That's the thing I was talking about earlier. It should also contain that complete detailed outline for your book. Like, your roadmap is not just one thing. It's a collection of tools that will help you achieve success. That's the whole purpose of this package deal, if you will, the roadmap to author success. It contains everything you need to know so that you can successfully travel down publication highway and avoid all the ditches, avoid all the crashes, avoid the flooded bridges, like all that kind of stuff. And if you're not familiar with the process, or if you want to go deeper on that process, then I would highly encourage you to go to the URL you see on your screen, authorcoach.click/roadmap. And you'll discover a simple plan that I have there where you and I, working together one-on-one over the course of a single day, we will design and complete your entire roadmap for author success, so that at the end of that day, you will know every single deadline you need to set for yourself. You will know why you're writing your book at the deepest level. You know why these people you want to serve, why this is so important to you at the deepest level possible. You'll know your writing schedule. You'll know all the simple pieces of the puzzle that make up this really magnificent tool, so that on the day following, you know exactly what you're doing. You will know exactly what you need to write, why it's important to your book. You'll know what you need to research. You'll know all of that information. So I love this process. I use this process for every single book I write. And it took a long time for me to develop this framework, but with it, writing and publishing a book becomes really, really simple, really easy, and it also becomes very quick. That's the thing that surprises so many people, is that when you walk through this process, and manuscript math being my favorite part of the entire thing, where you figure out exactly how long it's going to take to write your first draft. I love that piece more than anything, just because that's one of those simple little tools that kick open those doors of possibility, and so that you can go, wow, I really can do this. Oh my goodness, who knew, right? You knew, you just didn't understand the details. And so it's a really great process. So if that's something you know you need, then reach out. I would love to chat with you about it. So until then, set a deadline. Doesn't matter what it is. And then work really hard to meet or beat it. With that, have a fantastic rest of your day, and I will talk to you again tomorrow at 3 o'clock. Bye for now.